every TikTok from the NFL or ESPN that posted a highlight from post-game celebrations of the Super Bowl got annihilated by pro-Palestinian bots. Every comment on no word of a lie, dude. Every comment's like, "Did you see what happened in Rafah last night? Yeah, more people died. It's your fault. Their blood is on your hands, and you're celebrating the Super Bowl." And it was just constant those comments. Like, you could tell it was just bot farmed to the nth degree. And it was like, wow, that was a lot. And they kind of hit me with we've talked about this about a lot of different causes. The Palestinian stuff's hitting that threshold at the moment where people have gone from they've stopped caring and like feeling bad for you to they're starting to hate you.
Yeah.
And that tends to happen with really any type of political movement where you're trying to gain any awareness. There's the threshold. There's that even part where you're just kind of figuring out where you keep the public on your side and keep awareness high, but not crossing the line of then turning the public against you, and then the government's not going to do anything at all.
So here's what I think happens with that is, honestly, I think it's, again, locus control again, because what happens is that when you look at that and you say, what can the average Super Bowl like fan, what are they going to be able to do about this war in the Middle East?
Yep.
Honestly, what happened in Rafah, horrific. It's awful. Those people have nowhere to go. It's a genocide. We are all aware that he's ethnically cleansing the entire Gaza Strip. They want it back. They're like, these are the territorial lands of Israel. We want it. And, but like you said, the problem is that I even watched them flying the Palestinian flag above the Canadian flag in different places, and that didn't sit right with people. And it's, when I say locus of control, like the average person can't do anything to impact that. And the fact that even our leaders are going over there and saying, hey, Netanyahu, maybe you should knock it off. Like, you're killing people, women, children, everybody. And he said, stay out of it. You know, I don't care. This is my fight. Deal with your own things. And so what's happened is then when these pro-Palestinian protesters are attacking the things that bring people joy in the West, that's when you're like, you're losing all credibility. If they were out there at a politician's house or out in front of Congress or up in the Parliament buildings or wherever, you know, politicians are at, and they're protesting and that was where they were at, they'd probably get all the support in the world. But you start protesting people's skating event like they did in Ontario, or you start protesting all the Super Bowl things, you start taking away people's joy, they're not going to join you. That's just not how it works, unfortunately. And I get it where people are like, how can you celebrate while people are dying? The unfortunate reality in this world is that there's a lot of people dying all the time. Some of them are even dying in your own hometown because they're sleeping rough on the streets and they don't have food to eat and they're using food banks. And it's just like, there's so much horribleness in the world that there's only so much people can take. And the things that feel out of their control, they just dissociate from. So it's unfortunate, but they're losing that narrative because they're attacking things that people cherish. They're attacking traditions. They're attacking things that make people feel connected to each other in their community. And it's like, you're going about it the wrong way, guys. If you want support, you're doing it badly.
Yeah. And the one thing too is something that may help them to realize what's going on too, and this is what is adding to the frustration, is I don't know if you've noticed, but both in the States and Canada, our governments aren't listening to us, period. Like, it's just, they're doing whatever they're doing. We talked about it last week. What was it? 10 billion to Israel. Oh, sorry, 14 billion to Israel, 10 billion to the humanitarian aid in Gaza. They're funding both sides of a conflict. And they've done that for decades at this point. And Canada's not much better. And you know, we saw what happened 2 years ago with the trucker convoy. They'll crush you. They'll crush you. They're not interested in listening to the people. They're interested in their own agenda and serving whatever solves them and gets power. So I hear you, and that's what the frustration is. Canadians are like, yeah, we see you, we understand we see what's going on. However, let's not forget what started all this. You know, at least the immediate situation. Some terrible things happened on October 6th.
Mm-hmm.
That there was a response to that. Now, are we seeing a response that's are we going overboard at this point? That conversation can happen. I'm not going to have that conversation right here and now.
Yep.
That's not mine to have. But that's the conversation that's happening with these people. So when you have people like us who are new to terms of like the in-depth politics of the situation, who are just trying to enjoy the Super Bowl, who are bitter because we know our governments aren't listening to us. And then we're having people yell at us for not talking to our governments. We're just like, yeah, we're going to throw our hands up in the air and enjoy some Usher. Sorry, dog.
Yeah. We can't even get rid of a carbon tax, let alone stop a world war. So, like,
True.
give us a break.